Hey, how's it going out there today, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great day. I am in Minnesota getting a load picked up right now, going to New York. I got to get my hut sticker put on because I have not taken this truck to New York, and I've had a hut sticker sitting in the dash up here for 3 months now, and every time I think about putting it on, I find an excuse not to. So that's where I'm at. Did 3 loads this week. Kind of ran a little harder than I would normally run just because of tight spacing on deliveries. I don't mind that as long as the loads pay good, I don't mind it. Probably average speed this week, normally where I would run down like 63, 64, I've been running up more like 67, 68. The trip back from my last trip was, I ran that 70 miles an hour. That one, that load was late when I picked it up. The broker had to pay the late fee to get it out of the storage place. So, yeah. That load was late when it was booked, so definitely had to run that one a little harder than I wanted to, and I ran it up so I could spend the night at the house. So this week I spent 2 nights at the house. I spent Wednesday night, Thursday night at the house. I had to get up Thursday morning, drive about 13 miles, deliver this load at Cisco, drive, come back to the house. And luckily Cisco worked with me really good. They got that done really quick. So let's get down to it. I'm going to talk about the 3 loads and the revenue, and then we'll do all the incidentals at the end, all as one. People question my fuel mileage a lot, and they try to do the math of, oh, well, he bought this many gallons of fuel, and he ran this many miles, and they don't add up because this many miles by this many gallons of fuel, if you pay this much per gallon. I'm just going to tell you right now, guys, you know why your math don't work? Because my fuel does not start on empty every week and end on empty every week. Some weeks it starts on full and ends on empty. Some weeks it starts on empty and ends on full. That's why your math's not adding up. So yeah, now that I've taught you how to do math, let's move on to it. And I'll just put it out there for the final time. If you don't believe my fuel mileage, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if you don't believe it. It makes no difference to me. I don't lose any sleep over you not believing me. I'll just put it to you. There it is. So let's get down to it. First load, North Dakota to Tennessee. Great load. 42,000 pounds, was heavy, negative 10 degrees, 1 pick, 1 drop. Here's why I like it so much. 5 miles of deadhead. On a 1,277 mile trip from North Dakota to Tennessee, this load was 5 miles away. So that worked out really good. Hardly any deadhead in that. $3,600 is what that trip paid. That's $280 a mile, all miles with that 5 mile deadhead. Got to factor in that 5 mile deadhead. That's $2.80 a mile to the carrier. That's $28.80 to the truck, which makes it $224 a mile to the truck. So pretty good load, pretty good revenue on that one. Got to Tennessee Monday morning, delivered that. Oh, this load started Friday afternoon, by the way. That's when I picked up that North Dakota load. Got to Tennessee Monday morning, booked the load out of Tennessee. That was 10 miles away from where I was at. Back-to-back great deadheads. Good paying load as well. This load picked up in Tennessee. It had a stop in Louisville, Kentucky, and it finaled in Indianapolis on Tuesday afternoon. So it was a very quick load. It weighed 1,300 pounds. It was 3 very small pallets. It weighed 1,300 pounds. And 2 of the 3 came off in Louisville. I literally hauled like 400 pounds from Louisville to Indianapolis. 35 degrees continuous, one pick, 2 drops, 360 total miles, 350 loaded miles, 10 miles empty. Love that. $1,000 got on that trip. That's 200. That's, again, here I go. $2.77 a mile to the carrier, $800 to the truck. That's $222 a mile to the truck. Another good load. Quick load, deliver quick. I had to rush it to get it there, but it is what it is. When they're light and it pays good, I'll bump the speed up a little bit to make those appointment times. Third load, so I got emptied in Indianapolis. I ran down to Ohio. I just put my toe into Ohio, literally like 1 or 2 exits into Ohio. Got me another load, came back to St. Paul with that one. So that was a good, out and back. round trip me pretty good. That load was another good load. It weighed 14,000 pounds. It was negative 10 degrees. It was one pick, one drop, 80-mile deadhead to go get that. 731 on the loaded, 811 total miles. Paid $1,800 for that load. That's $222 a mile to the carrier. $14.40 to the truck. That's $1.78. This load was late when I picked it up. As far as the pickup time was already 12 hours past when it was supposed to be picked up. So we had to turn and burn on this load. This load, the broker had to pay $200 to get it out of hock, as I like to say, you know, like it's in a pawn shop. You got to pay $200 to get it out of the warehouse. It was at cold storage. But everything went good. They loaded it quick. I got on the road. I hammered it. I got home. I ran it pretty hard Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday night. Got up early Wednesday, drove it to the house, stayed at the house Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night, got up Thursday, spent about 2-3 hours delivering it, and then came back to the house and left out today at about noon. So I got a pretty good amount of time off. You know, I got home Wednesday afternoon, like just short of 2 days, and then I had to go do that little delivery in there. So it was a pretty good week as far as like balancing getting some home time and getting good revenue. Total miles this week, 2,453 total miles this week. 95 deadhead miles. That's 4% deadhead. That is a very good week on deadhead. When the freight market is robust, deadhead goes down for me because I'm willing to I like to balance it. I don't like to deadhead a million miles just to get a load that's paying $3 a mile when I've got a load that's, you know, 100 miles away and it's paying $2.50 a mile or whatever, you know, like time is of the essence, as they say. And when you spend a day deadheading just to make a few extra, you know, $100, are you really gaining anything? It's debatable, you know, and every load is a decision you got to make on that level when you're, this week, I didn't book any of these loads. Every one of these loads were called, I was called about on these loads, whether it be guys in the office, the dispatch in the office calling me saying, hey, do you want to go here? Do you want to do this? I got this load lined up. Do you need to call and, you know, like get it for you? So I like weeks like that when I can spend my time doing things like planning the trips, you know, avoiding toll roads, you know, stuff like that, planning out fuel stops, because when I have to search the load board a lot, I spend a lot, you know, it's a wasted time, honestly. You know, I could be video calling the house or doing things like that. So I'm glad, you know, when freight is good, they get these loads. You know, a lot of these people call us about them, or, you know, they don't have to search long to find them, so they can like get through to company. There's a few company guys here, and you know, they work through them really quick and get them loads, and then sorry, thought I had to sneeze there. So they work through it, but yeah, every one of these loads where they called me and said, hey, there's a load, you know, like that Tennessee load, you know, they called me before I even got to the delivery spot. And I stayed at my mom's house Sunday night. So yeah, boy, I did get some home time and some family time this week. I ran that load down. I picked it up Friday. I ran it down to Tennessee, took it by mom's house, ate some meatloaf, and you know, pretty good time, let me tell you. So, you know, when you show up at mom's and she's cooking, you know, you've hit a win. But yeah, so I ran that load down, and I ran that load down a little harder, a little faster than I would have normally run it, because I knew I could get there to spend a little home time. But anyway, I was there. That delivery time wasn't supposed to be till 11 a.m. on that load, and they called me and said, hey, if you can try to make that delivery a little early, because we found a load that's 10 miles away from where you're going to be delivering, and it's paying like, you know, $2.75 a mile. And I was like, okay, I will get up and I will go make this delivery. So that was a little bit of the week. I didn't put a lot of time into booking loads. Didn't really have to mess with it. I enjoyed it. You know, I'm not on an ego trip, because I know the guys in the office, they sit there and look at those load boards all day. So if they call me with a load that's going somewhere I don't mind going, I'm probably going to take it, because they know the prices, and they know when they can get more better than I do. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I've got this load to New York, and they've already found a load that's like 20 miles away in New York coming back that's paying really good. So I got a load going out that's paying good and a load coming back that's paying good, and I basically didn't have to do nothing but agree to it on the phone. So yeah, that was the week. 24.53 on the total miles, 4% deadhead, 8.25 miles per gallon. Now, I will say this. I stayed at my mom's house one night. I stayed at the house 2 nights. But the other nights, I idled the truck during the night. You know, going down to Tennessee, it was hot and humid. In like, I think the first night, I left North Dakota. I stayed in Wisconsin. It was kind of humid, a little stuffy. So I idled the truck some that night. The next, let's see, the next night, I was at my mom's. And then the other nights idled. So I probably got about 30 hours idling. And then during the day, I had to idle a lot too. Like on these deliveries in Indianapolis and Louisville, both idled the truck a lot. So I have been idling a lot this week. So I think that's why the 8.25 comes down, because I wish that 8.25 would have been better, because I had light loads, but I was running harder and I was idling a lot. So 8.25 is what it is. Total revenue this week, $6,400 total revenue, $3,600 on that first trip, $1,000 on the second trip, and $1,800 from Ohio back to Minnesota. So that's $261 a mile to the carrier. That's $51.20 to the truck. That's $209 a mile to the truck. These numbers, let's go over the expenses real quick. So $658 in diesel, $152 in reefer, $7 in DEF, $28 in tolls, $12 on one scale, $857 total variable expenses. Let's go back to $5,120 to the truck in revenue, minus $857 in variable cost, $4,263 left to do what I got to do with. And guys, that ain't you know, that ain't just my money. I still got to pay stuff out of that. I'm just saying I only do variable costs, so don't think like I'm putting that in my pocket. That's not real life. I ain't trying to make you think that. And in previous videos, if you watch, go back and watch some other videos, I explain other things you're going to have to pay out of that as a business owner. But a good revenue week as far as miles ran. $261 a mile is really good. I'd like to keep that up there. Like $209 to the truck is really good. Decent fuel mileage, 8.25. It's all the idling, running harder. It adds up. It does. You take the amount of diesel I used and subtract probably, say 30 hours of idling at 0.7. That's probably 20 gallons of diesel I idled out. And the $658 on diesel I spent is, that's whenever I talk about diesel, I talk about what I bought. Okay. So that's not what I used. That's what I bought. I used more because my tanks were like 3/4 when I started the week, and they're on about half right now. I didn't go by a fuel station that I wanted to top off at, basically is what it was. Hey, we're starting to get loaded. Here we go. But guys, that's the end of the video. I appreciate everybody watching. If you could, share, like, subscribe, all this fun stuff for everybody. And until next time, take care of each other. Bye.